Alright, y'all. Welcome back. This is part 2. In part 1, we talked about who got arrested for Naziah's disappearance, the basic timeline, the weird tablet password situation, and why we already had our eye on Grandma and Shannon. So, now in part 2, we're going to be getting way deeper, so definite trigger warning for sure. Because when you listen to Shannon's actual testimony from Jarvis's preliminary hearing, the story, it starts falling apart bad. It doesn't look too good for Grandma either, or anybody else. And on top of that, there is a ton of other crazy evidence presented and testimony made. So, let's dig in. So, Naziah's cries for help, y'all. I mean, really. Like, there are two major things that we need to talk about before we even get into where any of this info is coming from or anything like that. One, what should have been the prior CPS case. There should have been a Child Protective Services case involving Jarvis Butts where he was accused of sexually inappropriate behavior with a minor. I hope that doesn't get me flagged. Two extended family members of Naziah's reported to CPS that Naziah and two other young girls were SA'd by Jarvis at a family birthday party. In that case, Naziah was allegedly referenced as a secondary child in the case along with another girl. But, and it's a big but, Naziah's family claims to have never been personally contacted about it. No formal investigation into her home life ever took place. CPS officials later acknowledged that that was a failure on their part. So, let that sink in. This child's name came up in an abuse allegation involving Jarvis, her aunt's baby daddy. And nothing was done. Like, nothing. So, to the day she went missing. At least one report says Naziah asked to speak either to the nurse or to the school counselor the day she disappeared. Allegedly, she told a teacher she wanted to talk to someone. Also, reportedly that day, she wasn't feeling very well. She'd even been, laying on the classroom floor. I mean, I've been a teenager once, so, I've probably done that, But it was clear to people in the classroom and probably the teacher that she really wasn't feeling good. So, the teacher said that the counselor would pull her out of class, and it just never happened before school ended. Now, I mean, I know in my middle and high school, the nurse was only there 1 day a week, so the counselor would have been your first go-to. There has not been an official response or verification from the school district on why this request wasn't honored. If there has been even verifying that this happened, I don't know, but this is definitely what has been said. Whether it was an oversight or intentional, it matters because it literally might have been her last attempt to reach out, her last one. That's wild. So, I know everybody's going to say, where is this info coming from? So, first off, I'm going to mark what comes from sworn testimony during the prelim hearing for Jarvis that I used during this video. So, basically meaning that a lot of this is not random online rumors. A lot of this is not he said, she said. A good bit of it is Shannon's own words in court, on the record, other people's words, people's exhibits, which is evidence. So, I'm just going to run down Shannon's timeline real quick. That morning, Shannon says that she saw Naziah before she left for school, and everything seemed normal with her. So, she's home most of the day. Grandma's out running errands. Naziah is supposed to come home from school like normal, around normal time, 3 o'clock. So 3 p.m. came and went. And at a certain point, right before 6, Grandma, or Annette, is the one who went to pick up the kids. She went to the after-school program. A little after 6 p.m., Grandma and the 2 younger kids get back from the after-school program. According to Shannon's testimony, the younger kids come in asking if Neziah had come home. So we know there was some kind of conversation about her between them and Grandma in the car. We just don't know what the content of that conversation was. Shannon and Grandma talk and realize Neziah was never at the program. So at this point in time, they start calling around, looking for her, calling family friends, this, that, and the third. While this is happening, Shannon texts Jarvis, obviously letting him know that Neziah isn't here and that she has yet to be found. And Jarvis replies back real dry and casual, just a simple like, oh wow. After all that, Grandma decides she wants to wait until the next morning to call the police. Like, red flags number 1 and 2 right there. Now, here's where it starts really not making sense. Problem 1. Grandma is the one that pulled Neziah out of the after-school program already. So why would Shannon or Grandma even assume that she stayed late at the after-school program? She wasn't even enrolled anymore. Okay. Problem 2. Grandma is the one who picked the kids up that day. So why didn't Grandma immediately notice or report Neziah missing? Like, you're picking up multiple kids, you walk in, you see 2 instead of 3, and you don't ask nobody at the school, you just drive off and leave? Alright, problem 3. The kids themselves were asking, or Grandma was talking to them about Neziah in the car. Even if we don't know the exact words exchanged, we can safely assume there was some sort of conversation about Neziah. Meaning, either way, at this point, the kids are already worried. She knew something was wrong 100% before they even got home. Problem 4. Once Grandma and Shannon talked around 6 p.m. and realized Neziah was missing, they called around trying to find her, but then Grandma made the choice not to call police until the next morning. Good going, Grandma. So really, let's just think about that for a minute. Like, you realize a child is missing. A child is supposed to be in your care. You can't find her well over a full 3 hours at this point. And you say, well, you know what? Let's just wait till morning. Jesus Christ, make it make sense. Like, Lord help us. Other shady behavior. Shannon claims she didn't notice anything physically off with Neziah before she went missing. No signs of distress, no weird behavior. Nothing. Which is super weird because evidence later suggests, such as the previous video, that Neziah was going through a lot. But again, Grandma left the house to go get them from the after-school program, realized Neziah wasn't there, or at least should have, and somehow still nobody thought to call the police until the next day. They didn't even call. They just let the school know, and the school got them in touch with the police. That sounds like covering tracks, not an accident. Alright, y'all, so for part 3, follow, share this to your friends. We're going to dig into the Instagram post.